Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome all, and to everyone online. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. So happy the sun decided to come out and give us a little break from the rain as we come together in love this morning. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us as we pray. With full hearts and open minds, we gather today to accept the endless possibilities of peace on earth and peace in our hearts. We acknowledge the existence of pain and injustice in the world, but we also acknowledge limitless love and our limitless being. We welcome our divine inheritance as co-creators. We know that we are already standing in the light of love, of healing, and of transformation. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, please see Clint in the chaplain's office after today's service. Our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. Just place a purple prayer request slip in the wooden box outside the office. All prayers are confidential. We also invite you to join in a prayer circle immediately after the service at the front of the sanctuary for all who want to participate in a group prayer for themselves and the world. You can still meet one-on-one with Clint in the office. And welcome to our guests. A special welcome and thank you so much for joining us. For more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity Movement, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer. And if you ever have any questions, please just ask a board member. They have a special name tag to identify them. And now, Michelle Kirk, our board president, will give us a board update.
Good morning. And good sunshine after all that rain. So as a board, we just went through a fabulous reconnection, rebuilding with Reverend Anna leading us in some training. And thanks to the great hospitality of Pat Phillips at her home and Lisa's. And part of that was rediscovering, as we are looking inward in leadership, our own journey with spirituality and the history timeline of Unity of Lawrence. And one of the things that we are dedicating ourselves to do as a board is looking at Emily Cady's book, Lessons in Truth. And so each board meeting will be starting with a new chapter, and we thought, again, we are a community, and so if you too would like to look into this, you can get a free PDF online if you want to, order it in so many different ways. This one is in our checkout library on the bookshelf. But in June, we are kicking off with chapter 1, and we're just digging deeper into who we are as we look forward. And I loved how Pat said it as kind of a reset, because next year, Unity of Lawrence will be 50 years in the making. And so as we are setting forward with intention, we want to make sure that the next 50 years are as filled with blessings as possible. And so on our website, we're updating with all of the Unity connections for anyone who wants to dig even deeper with what Unity is about and the Unity movement. And so there'll be links about that and social justice stance, as well as different resources for anyone to access, because we welcome and celebrate transparency in our leadership and dedication for all. So as we're kicking off all kinds of fabulous events with the IDEA Committee in June, with the Pride Parade next Saturday and Juneteenth on June 20th. If you haven't ordered your Unity of Lawrence t-shirt. These cards are out there. If you want to be a part of Love in Action, in part of our Divine Nine, fill out one of these half slips. We've got folks that have been doing work on the grounds and outside, inside work that we're doing. So again, reach out to us about what you see in Unity of Lawrence as we are looking backward to understand where we're going to step forward for the next 50 years. And then here's Cindy Smarsh, our wonderful vice president, with a special announcement.
Shelley Posh, please come forward. You know, this lovely human, come on, get up here. This, this lovely human being showed up about a year and a half ago and now has the nerve to leave. So she's moving soon. Her life has taken a turn. She'll be moving to Alabama very soon. This is her final Sunday with us here. And if you haven't known Shelley, she is just a bundle of joy and a light that shines brightly every time. And she's got a soul that, yeah, anyway, anyway, I'm really going to miss that. But she also stepped up several months ago and said, hey, I can help with social media. Do you want me to do that? And she's done a beautiful job with that for us, too. And so anyway, she just been a great light. So we would like to bless you as you go. Okay, so will you join me? Stand if you want or are able, and let's have a blessing. You just receive, right?
Beautiful, bright baby.
We love you, Shelley. And now for our opportunities. Unity will be, as Michelle mentioned, out to show our pride on Saturday, June 6th, participating in the parade and staffing at an informational table at the Lawrence Pride Block Party in South Park. For those who'd like to ride on the Unity Parade float, we will meet between 10:15 and 10:30 in the morning at the corner of 7th and Connecticut. There are sign-up sheets in the foyer for those who would like to participate in the parade and those who willing to help staff the Unity table. You can do both. Sign up and prepare to have a good time, an awesome time. It was really fun last year, I remember, and very wet. And don't forget to order a Unity t-shirt. The Sunday Lunch Bunch will meet today following the service at Mad Greek at 907 Massachusetts Street. Come join us for a delicious meal with fabulous people. All are welcome. Next Sunday, Diane Silver will be our guest speaker with a message entitled The Muscle of Love, and Tim Behrens will provide special music. And now let's join Holly in singing All That's Good.
Let's stand as you are able. I've heard it said that we're small and alone on our path. My mind is set on a life greater than that, and my heart is open wide. My heart will be open wide. All
Let's turn to our neighbors with a handshake, a hug, or a hello, and share the love and light that is Unity of Lawrence.
All that's good, all that's good, all that's good that flows from above and below. I am that, I am that, all the joy and love that a life can hold. I am that, I am that, all that's good. All that's good, all that's good, all that's good. Some say the answers I seek are found on my knees. I listen inside to the whisper, I'm all that I need. And my heart is open wide, and my heart will be open wide. All that's good that flows from above and below. I am that, I am that, all the joy and love that a life can hold. I am that, I am that, all that's good. All that's good, all that's good.
Please affirm with me Unity's founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And now for our wonderful special music guests, the fabulous Star Sister Revival.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
I'm the sea that surrounds you, the garden that grounds you, the sun and the wind and the rain. I am every season, you're every reason to start it all over again.
Soon you'll sail the wild river, we'll set sail together, and oceans will call out your name. And by stars you will follow your hopes for tomorrow, and start it all over again. Start it all over again.
If you stagger or stumble, if dreams start to crumble, we'll pick up the pieces of pain. We will cradle you, cry with you, pray that you'll try to just start it all over again. Start it all over again. Who has eyes that can see all the things you can be? Who has ears for the sweetest refrain? May your heart sing forever where the sea meets the river, and start it all over again. Start it all over again. I'm the sea that surrounds you, the garden that grounds you, the sun and the wind and the rain. I am every reason, you're every reason to start it all over again. Start it all over again. Start it all over again.
That was beautiful. Robin Goff is a licensed Unity teacher, founder and spiritual leader of the Light Center, a 95-acre retreat and natural sanctuary south of Lawrence. With a background in nursing and hospice chaplaincy, Robin has led numerous events and programs about natural ways of spiritual healing and personal development for over 30 years. So happy you're here, Robin.
Thank you. I think I'm plugged in. Good morning, and good morning out there in Zoom land. Anybody watching, welcome. So, have you ever had the experience of feeling out of step with the mainstream? Perhaps. Maybe we're a whole gaggle of those people. I know that when I was growing up, I felt somehow different from many people around me at school, and I think that it's not unusual. Sometimes we feel like we're the odd one in our family even, you know, that nobody quite gets me. So if that's your case, then don't feel alone. I feel that too. And when I think about feeling somehow separate from the mainstream American culture, I think that maybe that's a good thing. Who said that? You know, I mean, who said the American culture has to be the gold standard for the world? And I think that there's some emptiness and that we feel it. We feel it in our kids a lot, our teenagers, our young people. So, yeah, I think that really for the last 30 years, I've had the feeling that the Light Center was out of the mainstream, certainly, and found it very hard to interpret to people, well, what is this thing? And what am I doing? And why am I working for 31 years without ever being paid? You know, like, am I crazy? And no, I have been so incredibly supported beyond words that it does make sense to me, even though it may not make sense when I try to explain that to people. The bottom line is we don't have a typical business plan. We probably never will. But that's okay, because we operate in a different paradigm. So when your bottom line is not the almighty dollar, what is it? The bottom line for me is love. Period, amen, that's it. And so when you're working in that venue, service becomes your path for growth, your path that leads you through all that you're doing. So congratulations if you're not feeling in the mainstream. I think that's probably just where we need to be. So many of you know this, but when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nun. And I could say the rosary in English and in Latin, and I was not Catholic. You know? It's true. I always wanted to be a nun. And I wanted to, that idea of serving in Africa really was attractive to me, even as a little girl. So it was like I had this sense of a calling. And now looking back on it, I think that calling was not so much to be a nun, but to be in a path of service in the world. So that's where I live my life. And one of my greatest teachers about being of service was Rachel Naomi Remen, who's an MD, but she lived her whole life with Crohn's disease. So she had something like 9 abdominal surgeries and lots of time as a patient. So she was a doctor on this side of the bed, and she was a patient on this side of the bed. And so she has been teaching doctors about that, about the difference between serving people and all of the other ways that we tend to knee-jerk go to in the medical profession. So she says that a lot of times we go into the helping mode. I'm going to help you. I want to help people, poor people who are so sick. Well, when you do that, it creates an inequality. It makes you up here and this person as less down here. If you go into the fixing mode, then what you're conveying to people is, I see you as broken. So helping, I see you as less. Fixing, I see you as broken. And then there's this thing about saving. That's a big part of the missionary work. And what that conveys to people is that your way is not as good as mine, or your way of saying religion is not as true as mine. And so that also is hurtful for many people, and not necessarily what we want to be doing when we're talking about service. And then, of course, there's rescuing. I don't know about you, but when there's ever one of these big, huge fires or floods or tornadoes, I want to go there and help. I want to go there and fix. I want to go there and rescue. But you know what? If I showed up in that disaster zone, what could I do? I can't pull bodies out of the flood, you know? I mean, we got to leave that stuff to the paramedics and the lifeguards, you know, those people who are trained to do that stuff. So it's not about rescuing, is it? It's about service. So in service, we see the person that we're serving as whole and as an equal. So it is, the way we say it in unity is, the Christ in me serves the Christ in you. So it's a supportive thing, and it's a two-way street. It's always renewing, it's feeding me, it's not burning me out, because I am fed in the process of service as well. And it's all about learning and growing together. So after I sent this talk title in to Marty, which you have to do pretty early on, The Path of Service, a book came in the mail the next day. And full disclosure, the author of this book, Molly Irani, is my niece. And the book is called Service Ready. So I thought, oh, well, good, this will be nice. I'm doing a talk about service. So great, I'll read this book. Thinking that it would be the story about how Molly and her husband built this restaurant, Chai Pani, in Asheville, North Carolina. So they had no money to start with, and all they could buy was this old, broken down, grubby, not attractive restaurant. And it had out-of-date equipment and really not pleasant at all. So what they did was they rolled up their sleeves and started working on it, and they attracted volunteers to bring their skills in and help with painting and fixing and hammering and cleaning things up and all of that story. And I didn't realize that they had done that. I knew all along, of course, that they had this restaurant, but I didn't know that they had taken it from that point. And the true miracle of that is then 15 years later, in 2022, they were named the Outstanding Restaurant in America by James Beard. Yeah, quite an amazing miracle success story. So as I read the book, I found that it was much more relevant for me than I ever dreamt it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be the story of building a restaurant, you know. So here's what Molly says. You have to commit to your dream. Just start. If you wait around until you know how to do all the things needed to manifest your dreams, you'll never get anything done. It often requires a leap of faith to jump in and trust that you'll figure it out. Well, those of you who know me know that that's my story. I bought a beat up, trashed out old farm south of here 31 years ago, not having any clue on what I was doing or how to do it. But I'd had this voice that spoke to me and said, build the light center. And I said, okay. And so I never looked back. I just started doing it. And the same thing. Somehow I started drawing volunteers to me, and we started tearing apart this old 100-plus-year-old barn. Dirty. My husband and I power washed it over and over and over again. So I really got hooked then on Molly's story, because it's like, okay, I think I have a kindred spirit here in this niece. So the thing about it is that the building of something like that is your dream is energizing, whatever your dream is. When you're getting there and you're in the trenches, that is play, it's fun, it's energizing. It's worth every bit of any work that you might have to do. So one of the other things that really resonated for me was that Molly started talking in her book about how they took their inspiration from another culture. And I thought, this is interesting. So the story is that Molly grew up in the Meher Baba Center in Myrtle Beach, North Carolina. Meher Baba was an avatar, a master spiritual teacher, not Sai Baba, Meher Baba. And Molly and her mom lived at this center in North Carolina. And every year she'd go to India and connect in with the community there, the Baba community there. Well, her husband, Meherwan, is the great nephew of Meher Baba. And so they kept touching base with each other off and on over the years as they grew up. Interestingly, they were both born on the same day in the same year, somehow meant to connect with each other. So at one point in the book, Molly was talking about her experience in India with these camps with teenagers and how fun it was that they would just work with whatever they had and improvise and somehow create meals in this kitchen. And they would laugh, and it was so fun and inspiring. And I went, oh, light bulbs coming on here, because that's exactly what I loved doing in South Africa. I'd work with my grandmother sisters there to make meals for the teenagers, the starving teenagers, in the camps that we did there in their summertime, and laugh and sing in the kitchen the whole time we're making meals, which is exactly what Molly's describing. I thought, there's something interesting going on here. This is another real parallel. So Molly has a real dedication in their restaurants, because now they have a number of restaurants. They have duplicated Chai Pani in Atlanta and other places. So she created an ethic that she calls mind-blasting hospitality. I think that's what you guys are doing here, right? So it's about prioritizing empathy and kindness and bringing the energy of the streets of India into the restaurant space was their whole idea, their whole goal. So they actually took their team to India so they could see what they were talking about, because both Molly and Marwan had grown up with that experience of the streets of India. And she talks about the staggering warmth of the hospitality that leaves an imprint on your soul. And I was reading the comments from her team who went to India and what they brought back from that, and I thought, oh, this sounds so familiar to me. It's the same thing people say about going to the tiny town in South Africa that we go to. It's about that ethic of generosity. People who have way less in the way of resources than you or I, and yet you cannot beat the generosity in their hearts. It's just automatic. It's part of their being. And it's a real amazing, true sense of community. So a light bulb went off on my mind that, oh, so I always thought of, here's the Light Center, and I do that, and then here's Love Light, and I go back and forth to South Africa. Like, these are two separate things. But it dawned on me then, no. This experience in South Africa has been infusing into the Light Center all these years. So there's a word, especially in South Africa, but the African ethic of Ubuntu. You may have heard of that. It means I am because we are. But this is something that I really have tried to instill into the community at the Light Center, is that when we are all working together to help each one achieve their life's purpose, then the whole thing will thrive. That we're helping each other, not competing with each other to see who's the best or has the best ideas or whatever. So when we were going back and forth to South Africa, we coined a term of cross-transformation, because we very quickly realized that, oh, no, we're not helping and rescuing and fixing people here. We are being served more than we could ever serve. We are learning more than we could ever teach. So that cross-transformation is really what it's all about. So we've embodied this model of healing into wholeness at the Light Center from the get-go. And really that is about learning that we can step out of the curing model, which is over there, and it's important, and it needs to happen, and it's in our hospitals. But we can bring that other piece, which is healing into the truth and the depth of who I really am and what I came here to be, to honor that wholeness in myself and in others. And how does it work that the Light Center is still going after 31 years? I have no clue. it has been built on miracles, and that is absolutely true. Ask Kathy Pryor, my treasurer, she'll tell you. Miracles upon miracles. So as I watch things evolve, I wonder what will happen after me, after I'm no longer able to be the spiritual leader of this place. What on earth is going to happen? And I have no idea, as usual. I have no clear plan spelled out for how that's going to happen. But I know that during the time that I have remaining on this planet in this particular body, that it's all about learning to convey to others what the ethic of service is and why it's so important in our world today. So Hurricane Helene hit Asheville 2 years ago. And of course, there was no water for weeks, and there was no electricity for weeks. But the old Chai Pani restaurant, the first one that was the broken down old restaurant, was in this little pocket that had electricity. And so Molly said, let's work with World Central Kitchen and feed people. And everyone went, what are you, crazy? You know, we don't even have water. So somebody figured out how to create a water tank so that they could have some running water, and they just worked together. And World Central Kitchen, if you don't know, flies in with helicopters to disaster areas and brings healthy food, and they produce food for people. So they actually fed over 25,000 free meals for people during that stretch of time. Molly says it's about building a foundational culture that can weather the storms of change. That's the key ingredient for us now. She also said that what she learned out of that experience being in Asheville during those months was that there is more that unites us than could ever divide us. More that unites us than could ever divide us. That's what people are experiencing in these disaster areas. You've probably heard stories about that before. So in the book, then Molly starts talking about how this image metaphor came through to her about being a lighthouse, shining the light that guides people home through the dark. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wrote that when I was in South Africa. I wrote a little poem about exactly that, about standing at strong and tall like a lighthouse would and allowing that light to shine out through me so that others can navigate by it. Not by me, by that light. And never knowing who is guided safely home by that light. That's not mine to know. So Molly says the world can feel pretty dark at times. We not only want to make some ripples that disrupt that darkness, we aim to drop a freaking boulder of love in the pond, impacting the whole thing. That is how we shift darkness toward the light. Love that. So that is service. Not what I do, but what can radiate through me to touch others. In that process, I am transformed. So this is the work of our souls, people. It's not about building a retreat center or a restaurant. It's about being a light center, every one of us. Mother Teresa said, it's not about doing great things, it's about doing small things with great love. She also, her core message was, we serve life not because it is broken, but because it is holy. So, my prayer for you today is that you find that dream and put everything you have into that dream and be that dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life for as long as you live. You are a beacon of light. And that's the truth.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
And so we come together as one people, one human family, in this time where we turn within to the quiet center of our being. And I'd ask if for a moment if you would feel inside your skin. Can you feel your skin on your body? Your face, your scalp, your torso, your arms, your legs. Feel the skin that's like the envelope around your body. And what does it feel like inside that skin? Can you feel the presence of pure spirit vibrating in you? Now notice that your soul, your consciousness that's inside your skin isn't limited. by that boundary. It can move right through your skin out into the space around you. You might feel that. You might feel some kind of sensation or movement. So let's allow that spirit to flow in and through us, coming in from earth and sky, from the source, however you imagine that to be, flowing through each body in this room, outward to fill this very room, and radiate out into this community around us. Because just as the light can shine through the glass of a lighthouse, that light can also radiate through you from your heart and soul out into the world. So just imagine that now for a moment. Feel that. And I'll throw in a sound and allow the sound to draw even more light coming through you and out into the world. Together we radiate this light into the world. Each one a lighthouse, shining out with one voice. And for our ever deepening understanding of this truth, we do give thanks. Thank you, God, and so it is.
That was the best talk ever. You are such a blessing to us. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires.
We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now.
that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round, attend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
And as the ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. As the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing, Pour Yourself in Me.